now. All right, guys, on this episode of the Potomac Local Podcast, we've got a special one. We're talking about the upcoming hearing for the Prince William Education Association of the Virginia Education Association. There's obviously, if you've been following this story for the past month plus, there's been a takeover of the Prince William Education Association by the VEA in Richmond. We've been promised this public hearing where both sides, we were told, we're going to be able to get together and sort of hear the differences, hear the evidence that necessitated, which prompted this takeover from the VEA. Up to this point, we've not heard word one from the VEA about what evidence they have, when this hearing is going to take place. We were piecing some things together, and so we'll go over all this. But joining us on the podcast today is Maggie Hansford. She is currently the suspended board president of the Prince William Education Association, the PWEA, and Toby Latham. He is with the Vasegi Law Group in Fairfax. And I believe representing Maggie in this case. Maggie, it's fair to say you've been through a lot. We've written a lot about you and your union over the past few years. This past month has been, I don't think we've ever written more about you than we have this past month. And despite all the stuff that we write, it's fair to say that you're still in good standing with your union and your members and your board.
Yep. All board members are members of good standing, and our membership in PWA, has supported our duly elected board and continues to support us as members.
So let's get into this. So we were told that there would be a hearing set on August 23rd, where both PWEA members, union members, the board, and representatives from the Virginia Association in Richmond would come to Prince William County and kind of hear both sides and understand the reasoning behind the takeover. And of course, they have alleged financial mismanagement to the tune of $355,000, which we will get into. I'll ask about that in a minute. But what we're trying to get to the bottom of, because we've reported on a lot of that, and so if you've not seen that, please go back on our website, potomaclocal.com, and read all about it. But we still don't know where this hearing is going to be. We don't know when it's going to be, and we don't know if you're going to be allowed to pull any witnesses and share your side of the story. So what do we know about that? We were told August 23rd, which is this Saturday. We were told George Mason University, the Science and Technology campus in Manassas. We published that information, and Mason called us within minutes and saying, no, please, that's inaccurate. That's not accurate. So what do we know about this upcoming hearing meeting, if you will?
So the trustees sent all member email to PWA members notifying us that it was going to be at the George Mason Manassas campus on Saturday from 10 a.m. to, it could go as long as 8 p.m. And that one email is that's the only information we received. I don't know if you heard about our lunch campaign when we were bargaining, but we don't know if there's a lunch break, if there's a dinner break, what's going on. It's their first Saturday after their first week of school. They're having to take care of childcare. One of the issues that we're having as members is you're not allowed both access. So if you signed up to attend and you said you were going to attend in person, you're not allowed, you have to commit from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. You're not allowed to then have a Zoom link if you need to go home, but you still wanted to be engaged and want to know what's going on with, you're only allowed one access. So, we think that is pretty, restrictive of members being on a Saturday. So we would like, if you as a member are wanting to attend, that you should have access to both. But we haven't got any feedback and why that restriction is. And some PWA members did attend a VEA board meeting last night. coincidentally, we found out that there was one. So some of the members asked to observe. There was talk about, having it be virtual. So our members actually reached out to George Mason today. There was never a contract signed. There was never an agreement with George Mason. We were all led to believe that we were supposed to be there on Saturday. It, it wasn't, that was never scheduled. So
So where are you going on Saturday? Do you even know?
nobody knows. Nobody knows. At first, we were trying to figure out when's lunch, but now we're just trying to figure out where's the hearing at. We don't know. We don't have any details. So,
Hmm.
today's the second day of school. It's been a stressful work week back for educators last week. And then this week, they're, at their second day of school. And it's extremely tiring. Your first week, you're not only starting with a new class, but you're creating a community for that year. So the kids are exhausted, educators are exhausted, and they've committed to Saturday. And now they have no idea where Saturday is. Is it in Prince William? Is it on the east side of Prince William? Is it on the west side of Prince William?
Hmm.
Is it virtual? I mean, this is through the hearing rules. The EA has 60 days to schedule this
Hmm.
hearing. You would think that, putting members first, that there wouldn't be this chaos happening Tuesday before.
Do you think that it would be better for this to occur, this meeting, this hearing, I should say, to occur in person or be virtual? What's your preference?
I don't think that the hearing should be happening at all, but that's here nor there. But, we've never had an opportunity of due process. This decision was made without us, about us. We're all supposed to be campaigning for collective bargaining to be part of a decision. And 9 of our peers that aren't even from Prince William came together and they decided to take this action without talking to a single person in Prince William. That to me is wild in itself. But then, to go this far, we believe we're owed not only to look us in the eyes, but to answer our questions. And we're happy to answer questions as well. But we believe that we're owed an in-person, as we don't believe that this is due process after action, but it's the best that we get.
Let's get on that due process and kind of put the will it, won't it kind of thing aside, whether or not, the hearing will take place, if it will at all. But there are many questions that have come up about the fairness of the due process. VEA said that it will only produce 3 witnesses on their own, and it appears it has rejected your broader list of witnesses. So do you believe that this sets the stage for a fair hearing?
It actually reminds me of when all of us were organizing, talking to our school board about the resolution that they passed. And we said, why are you not working with us to pass this resolution, right? And so they passed these hearing rules without us. And the hearing rules don't state how many witnesses, but then we make a list of who we want to talk to and who we want to answer questions, because there are a lot of allegations being said, $300,000 on travel and hotel. That wasn't 12 people. That was a lot of hundreds of people. So let's talk to some of them. We didn't put every single person on there, but we do believe that those 9 executive committee members, they shouldn't be forced by a hearing rule. They should be compelled. It's their responsibility. They chose that action. They should stand by it. They should answer questions to it. And just like every single board member on PWA is willing to answer any question, we believe that they should have to too. Whether or not it's a rule or not, it's an obligation. It's why it's part of being, serving.
And let me ask you, how are your PWEA members reacting to this uncertainty around who might testify, and how this meeting, should it happen, how will we be conducted? Because again, we're not getting any answers from VEA, and it doesn't sound like you're getting a lot of information. So, what's the reaction of your members?
Well, respectfully, we're dues paying members, so we should be receiving answers. This is our union. And, we saw through a FOIA request that, the trustee and VEA is talking to management in Prince William County Schools, but not talking to dues paying members. We think that that's not okay. You know, our phone calls to the PWA office aren't getting answered. They're not getting returned. Our emails to the trustee not returned. Our emails to the VEA president, VEA staff not returned. You know, these are all things, a part of communication. If you're not engaging with members, it's creating chaos. It's creating uncertainty. It's creating lack of trust. You know, and then we have this whole process. We have really had a really hard time with understanding the integrity of this process, the fairness of this process, and why our own union that we pay is not communicating with us.
You have been credited for getting a collective bargaining, an agreement through the school board, through the system, if you will, and getting a deal in record time, really. And a lot of people, they said, wow, PWEA did that even before that could be done in Fairfax County. And so you got the attention of a lot of people in the state when collective bargaining was approved. And of course, obviously, back in January, when the school board, did, I believe it was your compensation deal back in January, which we reported on, which was very large. So this $355,000, the alleged misuse for travel and lodging, is this the cost of doing business about getting this done and this agreement done and collecting members and growing your organization in what is Virginia's second largest public school district? Or is there something else to this? What's your response to these allegations of these financial mismanagement?
So, I mean, I would say part of it is, but the truth of the matter is that without context, the audit, you don't know what our annual budget is, you know, and it's over a 2.5 year span. In a lot of really strong union states, the state affiliate covers delegates that, you know, leaders to go to state convention, national convention. That doesn't happen in Virginia. It's on the local to do that. So over 2.5 years, when we've had state convention, national convention, that's through our budget that our delegates are then provided that lodging for. So that's, you know, every year we provide that, not our state affiliate. And then, you know, we had national conferences that we attended, but we just didn't attend. We attended the first time, the second time, the third time. We were training. We were sharing our story. We were lifting up some of our leaders that have done amazing work talking about organizing nationwide. You know, like there's, you know, we're organizing in the South. There's like a Washington State, like their struggle with organizing is apathy. They've had bargaining for decades, you know, so how do they get their members engaged and excited when they kind of this is how it's always been, right? But it hasn't been like that for us here. And so it is exciting. And how do we engage and, you know, share that excitement with other states? We've been able to do that. Not only did we do that, but we also trained over 160 reps to not only know how to lead at their state, but also lead at their site, you know, be the leader of PWA at your site. But they also had to learn the contract for the first time. They had a contract, and you know, it impacts people's employment. So we didn't take that lightly. We wanted you to know the contract. We wanted you to know how to navigate the contract, and we wanted you to know if something arises, what happens, what do you do? And we did. We taught a lot of. We wrote our own handbook and we did great things. So our achievements align with our strategic plan. We just closed out a 3-year plan. It all aligns. Our budget aligns with that. So I've actually, truth be told, I'm having more of a conversation with you than I have with those 9 executive committee members. Never once with the question asked of me.
So overall, are you saying that the money, the spending, the 355,000, is it all justified, or there may be some things in there that may not be, and maybe need to be looked at closer? You know, in a nutshell, I mean, would you say that, hey, we got this done because we spent that money, and we worked as hard as we did, and we got the agreement, which is, I understand that's, as a union, that's your job.
Yeah, I mean, we could justify every single down to the penny of why we chose. It's not just collective bargaining isn't just one line item. It all goes together. We're bargaining in a non-bargaining culture. So education is part of this, community outreach is part of this, membership growth. If you have a membership density of not the majority, your boss treats you like such. So trying to get your peers to come together to understand a collective voice is a strong one, and to have that, we all have to come together. And so, yeah, we spend a lot of money. Organizing costs a lot of money. We're not in debt. We own our own office. We're able to every month pay all of our bills. We have a healthy reserve. And we have a success rate. So we're very proud of that. And it's unfortunate that, these questions were never asked of VEA by VEA to us. We would have been very happy to answer those.
Let me ask you about the fallout that has come from Prince William County Schools. So you worked at the school division as a speech pathologist prior to going and being the president of the PWEA full time. We reported that you since applied to work at the school division again, and they told you, because of this VEA takeover, the PWEA, and what's happening, they will not consider you for a job, right? And so, I guess two-part question: are you trying to go back? Did you want to go back to Prince William County Public Schools and work again as a speech pathologist? And the second part of that question, I mean, what's your reaction? I mean, is this a form? Do you see this as a form of union busting, where they, you know, because they don't like what you're doing, or they've marked you in some way that they won't even consider you for employment because of what the VEA has done to your union?
Toby, you want to answer that, or you want me?
And that's a matter of pending litigation. So I'm going to ask Maggie not to comment at this time.
Okay. Okay. Well, finally, what's at stake here? And, if we have this meeting on August 23rd, uh, what's at stake for your union, your members, you? Well, when the dust settles, what's this? What does this all mean? What is it going to look like?
So this is going to have a ripple effect throughout the state. The decision that the VEA board makes on the 23rd, whether to end the trusteeship or to continue the trusteeship, is not an isolated decision that will only impact PWEA. It will impact every single PWEA member, the autonomy of PWEA, our ability to move our next 3-year strategic plan that we just wrote as a collective membership with our board and our rep assembly. We passed it. We had goals for this year, but not only it changes the trajectory of all of that, but it also, they have the opportunity to end the harm, and with that build trust, and come back together and stronger. Or if this trusteeship continues to move forward, harm will continue, and it will not just impact PWEA, it will impact locals throughout this whole state. And trust is not just with membership, trust is with our community. And we are all educators, and we're very proud educators, but it's how we treat each other is how our community they will see that.
And when you say this will affect others across the state, I mean, would you say that's because, if other unions like PWEA are as successful as you have been in securing your contract and getting that collective bargaining through, that they might do the same thing because they're successful, and they, I don't know. I don't want to speculate here as to why VEA did what they did, but it leaves a lot of questions. I mean, if you're successful, if a union is successful, will they face the same scrutiny, the same kind of reaction at their union that we've seen in Prince William County? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Well, what I'm saying is not only just that, but how this is all transpired. Superintendents talk, school boards talk. this has not been pretty. It hasn't been pretty. It's been very unnecessary. And the way that this has been handled our community is watching, and, they will see how our union is treating each other, and that will have a ripple effect of how our communities judge us and trust us throughout this whole state.
Maggie Hansford with the PWEA. Maggie, thanks for coming on with Toby Latham and your attorney. We hope to get some more information about this. Like I said, if this hearing happens, we want to be the first to let you know. So stay with us, PotomacLocal.com. We have reported on this. We will keep reporting on this to get the story out. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.